Shouts out to @GameWizard02 on Twitter. Thank you for tagging me in this post, buddy. I haven't read through this yet. I have no idea what this is about, but I can see some beautiful anime woman right here, so I can get the general idea. We're going to take a look at this together for the first time. Let's see what's going on in this story. It reads, what scares snowflakes on Halloween? Is it ghosts, ghouls, goblins? You guessed it, it's depictions of anime girls. Snowflakes and Azur Lane game mods are made uncomfortable over fan art winner from game and removed it within 12 hours, citing public safety concerns. There's no way. There's no way. It says, note the mods have previously tried to remove their art post 3 times when the contest was running because they were triggered by it so much. I cannot believe what I'm reading right now. All right, so from One Angry Gamer, let's see what they say. The Azur Lane English staff recently ran a Halloween contest where artist Piukute062 won the contest with his art featuring big-tittied depictions of the busty girls from the game in Halloween attire. The art appeared during the game's loading screen as part of the Azur Lane Halloween event. Well, that's cool. So wins the contest, gets his art featured in-game. All right, so far so good. But let's see. It says, however, after winning the contest via fan selection, the English staff removed Piakute062's art from the game, leaving many gamers confused. After repeatedly asking about the incident on Discord, the staff finally revealed that the reason Piakute062's art was removed was because it was, quote, inconvenient for viewing in public places. Oh my goodness. It was just on the loading screen, dude. Says, the reason for the removal of the loading screen artwork was explained by community manager Aki, who stated the following on the Azur Lane Discord channel. I'm confused too. Doesn't Azur Lane have quite a bit of fan service in it from what I've read previously? So I don't understand how it's really inconvenient if it kind of fits the scope of the game and it won a contest. And then that said, again, it's just on a loading screen. So this seems like some complete nonsense to me. Let's take a look at what Aki says, though. Aki, Azur Lane official. Maybe this is reasonable. Maybe it is. I'm willing to read what they say and at least give it a chance. Let's read. It says, Dear Commanders, in answer to your recent feedback, we removed a Halloween artwork which had brought it, the text is quite small here, so do bear with me, which had brought inconvenience to commanders when the game was played in public. From the current loading screens during yesterday's hotfix, we intended to make a contact, that's weird phrasing there. We intended to make a contact with the artist to clarify such situation before the art was removed, but he/she was unable to be reached on our Discord server. Hereby, we want to express our sincerest apology to the artist and to all their fans. We will keep trying to contact the artist and solve the issue in a proper way. What's the proper way? Can you please make them less busty? We like the art, but you got to make it less awesome. Like what? It says, we reiterate our respect to all kinds of fan arts, and we will be more careful with such issues in the future. Thanks for your understanding and support for HQ. Oh boy. And it says if you are unable to read the message, it reads, well, that would have been a little bit more convenient. I should have read that one. Oh well, it's all good. We got the idea. It says, the artist Piacute062 was well aware of his art's dismissal and voiced a response via Twitter, unbeknownst as to why the art was removed since he wasn't part of the Azur Lane Discord server, but was only aware that it was taken out of the game. All right, so let's see. So from Twitter now, we have the tweet embedded from Piacute062. Says, some of my fans told me that Azur Lane has removed my loading screen, so I hope you are satisfied with the results. I hope you will love my other works and ones in the future. So they took that pretty well. That's definitely a shame, though. Maybe we'll take a look at that picture in a moment. Let's see how this kind of wraps up here. It says, initially, a lot of gamers were confused because there was no clear answer as to why the artwork was removed, and the Azur Lane staff made no attempts to publicly inform gamers or the artist as to why the artwork was removed, especially since the fans were the ones who voted for Piacute062's art to be on the loading screen during the Halloween event. In a way, this completely undermines the whole point of the fan art contest when the staff goes against the fans after putting the power in their hands to vote. I mean, I can understand there being some certain rules in place for the contest, right? Like, obviously, you probably don't want to draw the characters getting completely, mutilated or something like ridiculous like that, right? But the point is, this seemed like it was completely fine. It won the contest and they used it. The implication there to me is it fit the terms of service. It was okay. The fans voted for it. And again, it was okay. So why then backpedal? Probably just, let's see what they say. Continuing. The community over on Reddit aren't terribly tore up over the ordeal, but they have been making posts either suggesting how the art could be re-implemented or joking about how other loot art appeared as loading screens in the Chinese and Japanese versions of the game. Okay, that's kind of what I was getting at. Some localization nonsense, maybe. We hear about that all the time in this day and age. It's so ridiculous. Like, what is with localization here in the West, man? Why are people getting in first of all, why is there localization? That makes no sense. As I've said before, if people are playing a Japanese game or a mobile game from whatever it is, another country, they like whatever that game is offering. They go out of their way to play that over something that's more Western, so to speak. So why would you then go and try to localize it to be more Western when clearly that person didn't want that to begin with? It makes absolutely no sense from a business standpoint. It really doesn't. And now we have this. So it wraps up by saying, in any case, you can still view the original loading screen artwork below, which won the Azur Lane Halloween contest, because you certainly won't be able to see it in the game anymore. All right, so we got these Discord messages from the artist Piacute062, and apparently their main goal with this was, well, as you can see, let's read this. So it says 78 votes by far. They made a feedback to remove my loading screen. I draw this time to triggered people. My main goal is on point. People triggered. 3 wins I have. I'm enjoying the result. It was planned from the beginning. There are a lot. My main goal to trigger normies and lolicons. So, I mean, does it really matter? I mean, what the main goal is? If the art was good and it won the contest, why does the artist's main goal or whatever necessarily matter? I don't get it. It was still voted in. So I don't really understand that being a problem per se. Some Reddit speculation about this. One user writes, so he made the artwork to trigger oofs. I know that the Azur Lane mod said that they removed the artwork loading screen because of fear of playing in public, but the hot bath loading screen is also not liked for the same reason, but it is still up there. Then there is the new formidable Halloween loading screen that shows more skin than the removed artwork, but it's still up. That's kind of going back to what I said earlier. Isn't there stuff in-game that is the same or worse? Quote, worse, because, I mean, it shouldn't be a bad thing to begin with. It says, part of me sort of speculates that they removed it because they knew he was triggering people on purpose. Azur Lane doesn't like being used for that sort of thing. Remember when the artists Maryland, West Virginia, and Colorado talked shit about the game, so they removed his artwork, unless you had them before the change, and got a new artist to redraw it. Maybe they didn't like the artist was intentionally trying to cause drama with his artwork. I mean, I think they had an opportunity, though, to make a good point here. Well, they could have just ignored that whole thing and just kept the artwork, and this wouldn't be an issue. But they also had another option. If this really is about the triggering, if this is about that, and they wanted to kind of stand against that, they had an option, if that's the case, to do the opposite, to stand with it and say, you know what? People should not be triggered by these wonderful anime women who are so womanly. We're going to respect how womanly they are, and they shouldn't be shamed for that, and the artist shouldn't be having their art removed. So they had a few options on the table, but it seems like they picked a very weird choice here, again, in my opinion. Actually, seems like a lot of people here on Reddit are siding with Azur Lane in removing it, not because of it being not okay to play in workspace or whatever they said, but because, again, going back to the artist allegedly, well, according to them, actually, I don't know why I'm saying allegedly, the artist admitting even that the main goal of this was to trigger people. A lot of people in Reddit are siding with Azur Lane, and I don't necessarily know why. I mean, nobody knew about the artist really trying to trigger people except people in this Discord and maybe a select few people outside of it. I mean, I don't know how many people really saw these posts. I'm going to imagine, though, honestly, not that many. Not that many. And most people playing Azur Lane, most people seeing that artwork, wouldn't even know that, oh, the artist's main idea was to trigger people. You know what? I would even go so far as to say, I don't think most people who play Azur Lane and saw that Halloween artwork even knew about the contest. You see, most people who play the game probably just play the game. They have an update. They got to update the game for Halloween. The game updates. They open the game up. They see the loading screen. They think, oh, that's cute. That's nice art. And then they go and play the game. They're not reading into the whole thing with the contest. Don't get me wrong. People are doing that, but not the majority, in my opinion. I don't think that's the case. And I'm basing that off of what I see for a number of gotcha games. Most people just play the game. Overall, pretty weird story. Another case of localization where it seems like it really wasn't necessary. And I say that very loosely because, in my opinion, localization is never necessary. Maybe if I really sat down with a cup of coffee and sat here for an hour trying to think of every situation, there'd be 1% where I could be like, all right, localization makes sense there. However, I think honestly 99%, if not more of the cases, localization actually hurts both the fans, the people that play the game and support it, and the companies behind said game. That's just my opinion, though. So let's move on from this one. I have shouts out to the kind people who promoted my last video over on Twitter, and that was certainly a lot different of a video than I've made in a while, but I'm glad so many people enjoyed that one. I had a lot of fun with that video, breaking down the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Kengan Ashura Season 2, Episode 8, excuse me. It was a lot of fun. Shouts out to Nightmare 13, Code Next, and Deshaun Miller. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace.